Hello. Welcome back to the Underground Treehouse Podcast, a podcast that discusses and reviews music of all genres. Isaac, you're back.
Hello.
Welcome back. Do the honors for this one.
Oh, well, thank you, Ruben. Thank you for teeing me up. Yeah. As you guys are well aware, I was off last podcast. My apologies, but I'm back and better than ever. They gave me the luxury, the infamy, and the honor of introducing these fine gentlemen. So I will do so. So, as always, we have my man to my left, Ruben, the man who can moonwalk with steel-toe boots on. Introduce yourself.
Hey, yo. I've never had to introduce myself, so I don't know what to say. But
Hey, it's all good.
hey, yo.
Man.
What up?
To my right, I have the man who will last a million minutes by that creek. It's my boy, Keenan.
What up?
And then across from me, the only one who could fuck your bitch tsunami style. It's Marcos.
That's not true, but I'm a virgin, dog.
Real base shit. He's a virgin.
Real base
shit.
Straight edge, baby.
He's hella
What's
straight
up?
edge.
Straight edge, baby.
This week, we are reviewing 19 Masters by an artist that goes by the name of Sia Gray. She is a very, very talented multi-instrumentalist, and this is her album debut. But before we get into that and before we get into her, we are going to start off with our beer recommendations and our music recommendations. I guess I'll go first just because it's my album, just real quick. I will go with the song by Sia Gray. It's called Shallow. It's such a fucking good song. It didn't make it on this album, unfortunately. She released this about 2 years ago, and really all I could say about it is check her out because we're about to gush over this album, or I shouldn't say we, but I certainly am. So because of that, I want to give music that's not on this album some love. So check that out. Shallow, Sia Gray. Check it out.
So my recommendation for this week is the artist Alex. It's Alicks. It's an ambient garage music producer from Virginia, and this person's been he just released two albums actually back to back. One in late July and just one on August 1st. 2 hours each. This dude released.
Jesus Christ.
I think it was like 30 tracks each. It's called the Sojuda Volume 1 and Volume 2. So after listening to Sia, this was like perfect timing for me. This album was just dropped. So
I'm not listening to that.
so very
I'm just
ambient.
joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
He has some dance songs. Very nice. Check it out, Alex. Sojuda Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Usually records like that are fucking amazing for road trips or for the gym. So I'll take a listen to it.
Oh, bro, these will put you to sleep.
Just yeah. I have a small little band that goes hard as fuck called Price of Life. So we saw them in concert last night at the Moonlight Lounge.
Let's go.
They're a local hardcore band. They go fucking nuts. Price of Life. They have a EP that just dropped. The games we play, it goes nuts. You can catch them on Spotify and Apple Music. But the Price of Life, man. On top of that, if you're listening to them, listen to Mishap too, another local hardcore band. So
Shout out Mishap.
Yeah, shout out Mishap and the Price of Life. You guys go hard.
So my recommendation of the week is going to be an artist who I find very similar to Sia Gray. It's going to be the Toronto-based producer / multi-instrumentalist, River Tiber. Oh, you know about River Tiber?
You put me on.
Oh, okay. Cool. I don't even remember. Really solid discography from front to back, but if I had to choose anything in specific, it would be his album Indigo. They're very similar in the sense that they make a lot of use of like ambient noise, very layered vocals, very textured, very surreal. Standout tracks on this one is Acid Test. Acid Test is like one of my favorite songs of all time. No Talk is a great one. He has a song called West with Daniel Caesar that's really freaking good. I'm a Stone. It's really a solid project front to back. So Yeah, again, Indigo by River Tiber. I'm sure I'm going to be making a couple references to him during this review, but yeah.
Do you think he ever linked up with Saya? Both being Canadian?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good
Multi-instrumentalist?
connection. Maybe. I definitely consider them within the same realm of genre or same realm of
Yeah.
music, so I wouldn't be surprised. And they have the connection between Daniel Caesar, so
What?
who knows?
Today we are drinking Santa Fe, baby. The
Fe.
IPA.
No one say it like that. It's just Santa Fe.
Well, no,
It says Santa Fe.
it says Santa Fe on it.
Hey,
This man
boo this
trying
man.
to cook me.
I'll take the L. I'll take the L. I'm not gonna lie. My bad. I thought you were trying to be clever, but I'll take the L. It actually does say that. That's actually really clever, actually.
Oh, but when I said it was fucking dog shit. Okay. For sure.
That's literally
Okay,
that's
for
the
sure,
point I was trying to make, so you caught it.
Okay, my bad. Just reading off the can here. Like your IPA juicy? Well, that's just like your opinion, man. Shout out Big Lebowski.
Oh, yep.
Sometimes we do
Where's
too.
the money?
That's why we unharshed this hazy and made it an easy drinking and refreshing mellow IPA with hints of tropical fruit and a juicy finish. I would think that's actually pretty spot on to how this tastes.
Yeah, I
and
was
kind
about
of
to say
like
that.
the feel of it. Like, I don't know. To me, I think it's pretty refreshing. What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
it's pretty fruity too.
No.
Yeah, it's very light. It reminds me of, I had never tried this shit before, but I had taken a trip to Portland a couple years ago, and they had this beer on tap in some random little like restaurant that I had gone to, and it was a nitrogen IPA. And I was like,
What?
that's like a double negative. How the fuck does that work? And I drank it, and it was delicious. And this is actually very similar to it. You get that real hoppy taste without it being super harsh. It's very, very easy drinking for it, despite it being a hazy IPA.
Right.
Shout out Santa Fe, man. It's a delicious beer.
Shout out Santa Fe.
100%.
Shout out Green Jeans.
Shout out Green Jeans.
Hell
100%. 100%. So, 19 Masters, Saya Gray. Her debut album. Fucking holy shit. What a way to start your career. Jesus Christ. I picked this album because I saw this video. So I'm subscribed to this YouTube channel called Colors, right? Colors pretty much has like a bunch of different artists on there, and they essentially allow the artist to perform a song of theirs live, and they just have everything about it is just like super clean, super polished. The instrumentals, the production on all of their videos is like just, cranked up to 11 essentially, not like overblown, but just everything on there is super fucking clean. Well, with that being said, Saya had a video on there off of this album, as a matter of fact, Pap Test, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let me check this out. Clicked on it, fell in love, and the rest was really history. Like, I've actually, as a matter of fact, shouted out one of the singles from this album before I knew she even dropped.
As one of your recommendations?
As one of my recommendations. So, with that being said, like, I've loved her ever since they dropped on Colors, you know what I mean? And that was really my reasoning for this, is that I've never heard an artist like this, and I've just wanted to give her flowers, essentially. She deserves, for people to talk about her, you know what I mean? I haven't seen big reviewers talk about her. I haven't seen a Fantano review. I haven't seen, this, that, and the third about her, you know what I mean? I mean, I've seen, online, written stuff, like I've seen a Pitchfork review, so on and so forth. But I just really wanted to give this woman a spotlight, because I really think that the music that she made deserves the attention. Let's get into it. Who would like to open up and start any sort of discussion or anything like that? I mean, there's so many places we could start from, so we can really go wherever you guys feel like.
So I think a good foundation to build on, as far as the review goes, tell me if I'm wrong, is the fucking length of the album.
Ooh,
19
yes.
tracks at 51 minutes.
Yes.
This shit is long as fuck. Like, when you recommended this and I saw the track listing, I was like, dude, there's albums that even we've reviewed that are like 12 tracks long, and I'm like, this is too long. I saw 19 tracks and I was like, dude, how the fuck am I going to get through this? Like, was anybody else questioning that? I saw 19 and I was like
100%.
dreading it.
Especially for a debut album, bro. I know you're trying to make like a staple, but
Statement.
19 tracks or a statement. 19 tracks for an album is ridiculous, man. Like, and there's some tracks that you could have definitely taken out for sure. Made it at least less than 15 or 15 or
19.
no, you could have made it 15 or less.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But 52 tracks. That's like, a senior album, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree too, because that's actually one of my that's one of the things I don't like about this album. I feel like a lot of these songs were stretched out. Literally, the opening track is 3 seconds, and it's literally just like a woman saying something.
Yeah.
Like, and she counted it as a track that could have easily just been a part of the second song.
An intro. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a meaning behind the whole 19 tracks, which we'll get
100%.
into. And so, like,
100%.
there's a whole meaning to it. So because of that, I get it. But at the same time, I'm with you guys. Like, it's just too stretched out. It's just,
Right.
that's ridiculous.
In your guys' opinion, do you think that the 19 tracks kind of like overshadows a lot of the better tracks? A lot of your favorite tracks?
As in, like, everything's too muddied?
Yeah.
Me personally, no. I saw the 19 tracks as a negative at first, and I think objectively you could probably see it as a negative. As you said, Keenan, that it just stretches out for too long, and you, Marcos. But to me, and this is something we'll segue into, I think the sound, there's such a like array of sounds on this, and I think not to get too deep into it, but it builds a foundation and then it kind of branches off from that, so while it stays original, it also ventures off and does things very unique, and I think that helps fill the 19 tracks, and it also helps that like more than half the tracks are like fucking less than 2 minutes. So
I was literally about to say that, like, yes, it is, 19 tracks and 50 some minutes or whatever, but for my opinion and really, so not just my opinion but my musical taste, I never really felt that this album dragged longer than it should. Maybe certain songs dragged, but as a whole cohesive unit, the only reason why I didn't feel like it dragged, because everything seemed linked. The reason why it seemed linked is because, I don't know about you guys, but I think this album has one of the best, highest percentage rates of songs transitioning into other songs. So often do you hear the ending of a song flow beautifully into the next song on a bunch of different tracks, whether it's they're using the same sounds from the next song, or they're using the same sort of vibe from the next song, or they're even using the sort of same instrument from the next song. The flow of this album was so smooth to me that it didn't feel long like a 19 track 50-minute album would usually feel. But that's, again, mostly credited to the way she structured the album and the way that it flowed.
Yeah. Well, I 100% agree. I mean, that's, I think the best way to describe this album is to describe the sound of the album is splintered. Like, so the way I imagined it, is you have this bass, right? And the bass to pretty much every song is, real beautiful harmonies, ambient sounds put in the back, and acoustic guitar, right? That's basically the formula to every song. But the reason why I call it splintered is because every single song branches off and adds its own little twist to it,
What's that tropical song towards the end? Palm.
Little Pond?
Little Palm?
Palm, yeah.
Yeah.
Brings in that tropical atmosphere.
It definitely gave me like Hawaiian vibes.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's a perfect example. The base of it has the real nice harmonies. It has the acoustic guitar, but that song and the very second song and add in that like real twangy like guitar lick in it, and then you
Almost
take
country-esque.
yeah,
It's
it
either
sounds
country or tropical, depending on how you view it.
Yeah, and then you also have another song, Too Loud, which takes that same structure and stretches it out for 7 minutes, and then adds in like a small section of silence for a minute and a half. Like every song just did something new and unique.
I guess that would be a hot take for me, was because in the moment after listening to this album for the first time, I did not like the foundation to it. So that's mostly like why I'm going to be disagreeing with you guys, was because the foundation, first of all, is just something that I couldn't really get comfortable with and I didn't really like.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to force myself to listen to this album because it's your pick and we're reviewing it. But
Okay.
You're like, because I had to.
yeah,
But,
because I
but
had
what
to.
about it didn't you like? Or
It was just-
not
it was-
even about like what about it didn't
The
you
foundation of it was just
Yeah.
like really like it's too calm. Like it's just like.
like? It's just not your style.
Not my style. It's just not my
That's fair.
style.
That's
and
fair.
it's a good album. Like I 100% agree with what you guys said so far. Like it flows beautifully. I 100% agree with what you said. So far, I think it's the best album that does the transitions perfectly. 100%. I give credit to that. But it's just not my style to the point where I could listen to a 52-minute album where it's just the foundation is just calm.
I can see that though, because but also I can see like what Ruben said, because in each song you're getting something new, and so like it kind of does keep you entertained and like it wanting more, because you're like, what am I gonna get? Even if it is 2 minutes of silence, which I absolutely hate, because again you just drag that song on.
That is true.
It's like,
That
"Oh,
is very
come
annoying.
on." But we hear everything from jazz sounding. We hear
We get saxophones.
we get horns. I think we get we get a harp in one of the songs? Those high pitched
You get static. You get literally static.
Oh, we got the glitches.
yeah, you got glitches.
What's that like
Yeah.
Japanese like string instrument?
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a ukulele in there too. I heard a ukulele.
There's 100% ukulele
Has to be,
somewhere.
right?
There has to be.
I can't think of the song though, because I even put in my notes. I was like, is that a harp?
Probably. No,
I think it's in
literally.
one of the interludes.
So just to piggyback off what you said really quick, you're 100% right. Every track has a different little sense to it. That's why I said the foundation to it, the original sound to it is what got boring to me. Not the extra instrumentals and stuff like that, because it would catch my ear like that. Ukulele, the glitches, all the experimental stuff, the jazz, like it caught my attention. But that's why I'm saying the foundation is the one that I got too repetitive for me, where it was just like, okay.
Not to jump ahead, but like my top tracks are all like same sounding, because that acoustic guitar that you get on almost every track in this
It's
album.
every track. I'm pretty sure it's every track.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I was invested because I was excited to hear, because like each track was something new, and I was like, what are we gonna get now?
So, on the first listen, I think it's definitely something you have to kind of sit with and, kind of digest a little bit. Not saying that you didn't, but I think
didn't.
on the... Okay, well, all right, GG's then. But, like, when you first listen to it, I think it's like... Breathe, shorty. Breathe. No, when you first listen to it, I get what you're saying, where everything is like, okay, more acoustic, more, of the same kind of melodies.
More slower production, like
Right. So I could see how that's samey, but I texted you guys this shit, and I still think, after multiple listens, this album still gives me the same type of feeling. Like this shit, it's the same feeling you get when you wake up from a nap or from a deep sleep and you're half awake but you're still dreaming in your head. Like something sounds familiar, so the acoustic guitar sound familiar and you're still kind of dreamy, so like it sounds somewhat serene, but then there's also this weird like glitchy kind of like confusion added to it, like things aren't making full sense to you, and that's basically how this album feels to me. Like some of the creative directions just don't make sense, but it sounds so dreamy and so surreal. It's like it's that same feeling of waking up.
What was that video of that kid who took too much? He took too much of
David at the dentist.
Yeah, what did he say? He's like, "Is this real life?"
Yeah.
Is that what he said? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. That's exactly how I felt too. It is really hazy. It is really hypnotic, and it is really familiar and different at the same time. So you were saying like how the acoustic sounds, were all the same. Okay, so I get what you're saying, but also I disagree, because you're right. I guess the structure of it is the same, but like in so many of the tracks, it almost felt like the strings on different songs like conveyed different emotions. Sometimes the strings sounded raw as fuck, like she's playing that shit with her fucking fingernails, no pick. You could just feel it. You could feel the flesh of her fingertips touching the metal fucking strings, whatever. And then on other ones, it sounds super produced, super clean, super compressed, super, perfect, and that gives its own like sanitary feel, like that alien quality, you know, that dreamy quality. And then other times it sounds grandiose, it sounds out of this world, gargantuan, you know what I mean, like Titanic. Like the simple instrument of an acoustic guitar, she changes that sound, that frequency, that vibe on so many of the songs that, even though it is the same sort of, you know, like you said, structure or formula, even those songs sound different to me because of the feelings that I get from that acoustic guitar, if that makes sense.
No, it makes 100% sense because
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I wasn't complaining about the acoustic guitar.
no. But I'm saying, like, if the acoustic guitar is the foundation, is one of the keystones of the foundation of, you know, this whole album, I think that it's one of the more versatile keys.
So I was gonna say the production is what is the foundation. The guitar, you could argue that because based off what you said, same with her singing. Because I get that same feeling based off her singing.
Her singing is crazy different.
Her singing,
on so many
exactly.
Of these tracks.
I get that same feeling off her singing too. So I'm taking the guitar out of it, even though it is on every fucking song. I don't think the guitar, based off how she's playing it, is a part of the foundation. The foundation is just the production of it, literally just the fucking the sound engineering. So the acoustic, I completely agree with you. There's some guitar solos out here that go nuts.
Oh yeah.
There's a bassist.
Dude, that bass solo is really fucking good. That goes nuts.
Bass solo at the end of Pap Test?
I'm pretty sure it's Leeches on My Thesis.
Okay,
let
what
me
it
let me
is.
double check. Yeah. It's Leeches on My Thesis.
Well, yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's Leeches on my thesis. It's towards the end of the album, so it sounds like it is that song. But yeah, like it's raw as fuck, man. So
super raw, and funky as hell,
Yeah.
bro. I could totally see why Daniel Caesar works with her, because she is just okay. Something that I didn't say at the top of this album, and forgive me for not, but she actually produced, did almost all of the instruments, sung, she essentially did this whole album by herself. The only other additions was her dad played trumpets on like 1 or 2 tracks, and her brother played drums on like 1 or 2 tracks. Like essentially this is a completely self-made album, and holy shit, bro.
And we got a Haji Beats feature.
What?
Is that the only, other than like
Other
spoken,
than her parents, other
Yeah.
than her family members,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
other than spoken interludes?
yeah,
That's the only like musical.
I would agree.
Well,
Yes,
it's Haji
It is.
Beats. It's basically no one. So
What?
I'm just joking. I can't do that. In my
Damn.
voice. I can't do that in my
Oh,
voice. But I
man.
love Haji. I love Haji.
You're
I'm
lucky
just
it's not
joking.
like 2011, bro.
Yeah,
Odd
it's a-
Future fans would be fucking canceling
it's
us.
a joke. I love Haji Beats, bro. Chill. It's a joke.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, can we just talk about that real quick?
let's
because
talk- well,
Yeah,
it's the only feature
What
off
track
the-
are we talking about?
so Haji is featured on SHT, in parentheses, Silent Hot Tears / Send Hot Tempura. Man, Haji has a great. So this is the thing, is, you know, Haji has always kind of had a decent pen game, you know, and he's always had like a real poetic kind of sound to it, you know. I mean, if you grew up on the Odd Future fucking sandwiches, Goblin type shit, yeah, you probably didn't hear it, but you know, he's had mixtapes, you know, where he's actually given really introspective type of bars, you know, and this, I mean, obviously he's a lot older, but man, he gives an amazing feature on this.
Totally works in the theme of the album, which is essentially the look into a relationship. The not even necessarily the happy parts of it either. It's essentially the annihilation of a relationship, the breakdown, the forgiveness, the betrayal after the forgiveness, and then the final edge of like, this is it. You know what I mean? Like this whole album is like a breakup album essentially. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And Haji hits it on the money, bro.
Smooth,
bro. So
Smooth.
smooth. I want to spread it on bread and eat it.
Smooth. I would spread his fucking cheeks, dog. What are you talking about?
And eat it.
And eat it.
Yo, this is my top track actually.
What?
The way,
Yo, this
Bro,
album's a
what is that?
10.
Come
just
down
because
to
of the
earth.
Just because of Haji feature.
bro, not even that. The way they harmonize in the beginning,
Yeah.
it's so good. Like literally, the only thing I did not like about this song was like the weird like childlike monotone sound.
Thank you. I
That
have
part-
that in my notes. Yes.
Like, other than that, though, I can get past it. Because Haji
Talking
does
about the
carry.
intro.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's a fucking verse. It's a fucking chorus, verse, whatever. It's her fucking singing for like in a childlike voice for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually her and Haji
Yeah.
together, and it
It
sounds
sounds like a fucking 6-year-old.
it sounds weird.
kid.
It sounds a little weird, but the chorus with Saya,
It's hyper pop,
like,
baby.
Don't
Oh, get the
bring,
fuck out of here.
Don't bring that shit into here.
JK.
So the chorus when it's just Saya,
Uh-huh.
like the way she harmonizes with the instruments and the beat is so nice, and then Haji just carries it out. This song is
The
beautiful.
only thing I have a complaint about, on top of that, thank you for reminding me, is that it's not long enough. Like, he went smooth, man. He killed it. I wish it was maybe like an extra like 10 bars, dog.
That's fair. You guys are about to fucking torch me.
Oh my god. Let's just stop the podcast right now.
Please don't do this right now.
What do we got?
So many of the songs were too short. 52 minutes or whatever you said. I need an hour and a half, brother.
Okay, yeah, that's unpopular.
I fucking
This shit was
I-
pitch perfect.
I a lot of the interludes are some of the best sounding sonically songs on the entire album. I wish those were full songs.
You're telling me-
and some of the other songs could have been shortened.
You're telling me the 3-second song was a good song.
Her mother saying "Welcome to my world," that shit was fire. I hope they deep fried and add extra bass to it.
You
What do
wanted that to
mean?
be longer.
Make that shit into a
You wanted
TikTok
her mom to
trend.
make a fucking monologue.
if she wanted to.
That's what it sounded like, huh? Because it was like through a phone.
Yeah, it was through a phone.
Was it?
Yeah,
so
it
Saya
definitely
literally
had.
put the phone to her and said, do this for me because she had done so much for her mother. So yeah,
Oh, so it actually was through a phone.
yes.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure if what I read was correct, I'm pretty sure
was
You were
phone.
there.
she put. I mean,
he was in the studio.
me
He
and
put the
Saya
phone
are
up to
like
Saya's
that, you know what I
mom.
mean?
Yeah, he's the one that called the mom.
You called the
know what
mom?
I'm saying?
Yeah, Isaac
she
was the Isaac was the one on the 11/19 interlude. Like, oh yeah, she just came up with it now. It's all good. We'll call you. Which, by the way, what the fuck? For some
Send the
reason,
Addy.
That was so weird.
and they
That's
had,
her dad. That's her dad.
So that was her dad.
You're her dad?
And they damn.
chill.
Hey,
chill,
is there some conspiracy going on? Why did you pick this to review? Huh? Is there some kind of family ties with this? Collusion.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that one was such a trip. And you know what's funny is like that interlude has one of the most beautiful passages of music in the whole album with the saxophone thrown
It does,
in
yeah, it does.
around like the 30-second mark.
I'm gonna challenge that
Okay.
when
I-
we get to it. When we get to
Oh,
it.
when we get to it,
When we get
okay.
to it, because this is beautiful.
I loved it.
This is beautiful.
I loved it. The
But-
outro was a little iffy,
Hey, do we
whatever.
have any more beer?
But that saxophone was amazing.
I just popped the last one, brother. But do you want?
Go grab a stout real quick.
Cool.
Well, I'm waiting for that challenge.
Oh, you'll get it.
Oh,
You'll
I
get
want to
it.
hear it. I want to hear it.
You'll get it.
But the interludes, yes, I definitely disagree with you because I think the interludes are placed perfectly. I think if you were to stretch them out any more, they wouldn't serve their purpose. The purpose for them is to be short, and to add, if you go into the interlude 9/19, which is just like purely ambient, with like, by the way, I love that interlude because that fucking, she has the super sweet vocals in the beginning, and then it eventually like wish it was longer. No, because if it was longer, it wouldn't have worked. And then it eventually leads out into this beautiful piano playing, and then there's this weird like ringing phone in the background. It sounds like it's playing in an empty building. Like I just feel like if anything like that was longer, it wouldn't hit the same.
Oh yeah, and you know what? It's nice too because these interludes. I mean, they most definitely set you up for the next song, especially with 11/19 being by her father, and then the song right after, which I believe is "Insufficient Funds," literally speaks about her father. So like that was nice to hear that, and especially like in like the tone and the instrument behind it that led into it, because like how we said in the beginning, because all these songs just blend really nice. That was really cool to see. 9/19, that one was a little weird for me. That one was a little
how
weird.
so?
That one was a little weird for me. That keyboard was like a nice setup, and I thought we were gonna get more of that, and because we did get like the random like phone ring and everything, and we didn't get that in the next track, which was too loud. So that was one of the ones where I was just kind of like, I would have
Like,
been all
what
right.
is this segueing to?
Yeah, what is
Right.
this going into? Because initially, after like, I won't say it was like my second or third listen, after these interludes, I was trying to think, is she breaking it down into like sections of the album? So like we got like the 119, the 919, the 1119, and I'm like, no, not really. Like what? These are just interludes. Like they're literally just filler to reach her 19 track album to serve its purpose. And that's why in the beginning I was like, I just didn't like how long it was. There was really like no need for it.
Right.
But again, I do agree with you guys on 1119. That song was great, but 919 was the one where I was like, why is this? Why is this here?
So
Why
now-
is this here?
Okay.
Why is this here? But I get it. It's an interlude. I don't hate it, but just I also don't love it. What you got? Why are you holding your chest?
I'm gripping my chest because I completely and utterly love this song, and I understand if you don't feel that it fits the overall narrative and or flow of the album. But
Oh my God.
this goddamn song, this mother freaking heckin' song, bro. I'm not even gonna speak off top. I'm gonna read verbatim what I wrote because nothing will summarize it better. I need these vocals to narrate my fucking life. I wish this is what the voice in my head sounded like. God is a woman and she has blessed us with the greatest 12 seconds of my life. This goes so well with the atmospheric keys. Sounds like what it would be if you were in a fucking quest and you had to go through a forbidden forest to save somebody, because it's so haunting, foreboding with the crazy piano keys, but it's so soothing and melodic at the same time. It hits so many emotions. It's so full of texture. It's so good. Like, I fucking love this song. I love it. And it's a minute long, bro. It's a minute long. And I'm gushing about it because the way her vocals sound, because the way that she teases us with those sort of production values. Like, it's
That's
just
what I'm
so
saying. You
fucking
like
good.
it because it teases you.
Yeah.
So if
like,
you didn't have the tease, would you still like it?
wait, say that. Like, bro, I could listen to this song for an hour just on a loop of this 1 minute song. Yes, I would like this version extended to a 30-minute track if she so chose. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about. I see what you're saying. You're saying you'd rather have something that's worth more, something has more substance than diluted in that it's longer. Okay.
Essentially, the more than less.
Yeah.
Or less is more. than,
Yes. I need that shit in my fucking veins, dog. I'm addicted, dog. I can't. It's a taste, and I need more, bro. Like, I get what you're saying, but I need more. Like, I don't know. I just wish it was longer. I have in all caps. I wish it was fucking longer. Like,
So Isaac, like what you said, pretty much to give anyone who hasn't heard this album yet, she pretty much does that in almost every song where she does only sing for a few seconds. She only has a couple lines, and then she's in, she's out, and then the album or the song carries on with whatever instruments going on, whether it's silence, where we got ambient, whether we got horns, we got jazz in some songs,
jazz, R&B, hip-hop,
R&B,
yeah.
and so that's what's nice, because I did appreciate that, because she did like get to the point, she got it out, and then it was just like a jam sesh. But again, I still think that there were some songs where she did kind of overstretch it. But other than that, I mean, we got good, we got good instruments, and I really appreciated that from it, because it's just straight to the point, in and out.
That, I mean, again, I really can't argue. I think I'm the outsider on this one.
He makes a valid point, though. To be honest,
No, he does because he's saying why ruin a good thing? Why pour more sugar on something that's so sweet? I completely get that. As a matter of fact, I got a fucking sweet tooth, baby, because I need more. But
it sounds like you have a crush, dog.
bro, she's a very cool woman, so yeah, I fuck with her. But what I'm trying to say though is, you're completely valid in feeling like that, because what she gives us is so perfectly, packaged that, like, why would you want to disrupt the artist's flow. Why would you want to ruin that? And I completely get that. I completely get that. The reason why, like, I'm fucking riding so hard for that song in particular, and it's an interlude at that, is because for me, those vocal harmonies and those, because it's like a vocal harmony slashed with a layer. It's like her own vocals are harmonizing together, and nothing on the album compares. Like that's like the high. That's one of the highlights vocally for me. Those vocal harmonies slash layerings, because they're just oozing, absolutely dripping with heart, with just so much energy. So, I don't know. There's something about it that just I just feel it. It's just a visceral reaction.
So for you, it's at that point where those vocals hit such a note where it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
That's exactly what it is. And then going into, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. And then going into that beautiful sprawling piano where you hear it and it sounds like it's just like a fucking open field, like just grandiose. Like something about the vocals mixed with everything is just top notch. And that's why I write so hard for the interludes, because the interludes always on this album always find a way to capture my attention in a way that is so addicting. It really does leave me wanting more. And you know, now the more that I think about it, maybe you guys are right. Maybe that's what she intended. And so that way, if they weren't, you know, in those, you know, bite-sized pieces, that they wouldn't sound the same. If they were full songs, then they would overstay their welcome, and then it would fuck up the flow with the album. But fuck, dude, I'm addicted, dog. I'm addicted. Give me that shit straight in my fucking veins. What were you gonna say?
You literally sound like a crackhead.
Yeah, this is.
I just need a hit.
dude.
Well, it was a tease, like Ruben said earlier.
It's a fucking
It's a
tease,
tease.
bro.
But I mean, I completely understand where you're getting at with that, because I mean that's how I felt with the chorus in the SHT on the track with Haji, because like I said, with the way she harmonized. So I completely understand how. And so you know what? I know how you feel. So maybe if that interlude was more of a song like SHT, maybe I would have been more for it. But the fact that like she was like in and out, and then it was just kind of like carried, maybe that's why I kind of care for it, even though I still appreciated the track. So maybe if it was its own song and it had more vocals, maybe then I would have been all for it. Because again, like the way you gravitated towards that song was literally the reason why SHT is my number one. It's because the way she harmonized and the way she came out swinging like that. It has the only feature on.
And it has the one and only
only
feature that
feature.
isn't part of her fucking family. So
Bitch. Well, so don't get it twisted, because I absolutely love this interlude too. I mean, you know, it could be top 3 for me. But no, to say that it's like, well, no, I shouldn't say that, because that's going to discredit you. Or I'm going to sound like I'm discrediting you when I'm not trying to do. I disagree, though. I think there's 2 other instances on this album that have the best layered vocal harmonies. And they're going to be on the tracks Saving Grace. And it's going to be Seedless Fruits of My Labor. The layered vocal harmonies on those 2 are amazing. And I think if I had to pick between the 2, I would probably pick Seedless Fruits of My Labor, because they have such a nice like lo-fi like static kind of quality to them, you know. And I mean, if you guys are fine with going to this track real quick, I think this is like the most emotionally devastating song on the whole album. It's the most, in my opinion, it's the most heartfelt. It's like the vocal harmonies throughout the whole thing, not just the layered vocals, is amazing. It's really quaint. It's very, very stripped back. You know, this is essentially an acapella song almost. This song just does everything perfectly, you know.
And the way it's recorded, because there's a verse in there where literally it's just like it's just like a group of guys singing like off a phone, right?
Yeah.
This is the one, right?
Yeah. So is that her just with vocal effects, or is that a group of people? Because it doesn't sound like her, but I can see how it would be her if vocal effects were added. I couldn't find anything. So did anybody?
I mean,
about that?
I didn't either. Like it literally sounded like 2 or more people like just singing,
Like a little quartet or something.
Yeah, and it was very you could tell it was like over like a voice recording or like a phone.
Yeah, that's why I think it could have been a voice effect. It's sung like a lullaby. It just sounds so heavenly.
I mean, if she's literally, like Isaac said, she's doing all these instruments herself, and with like as experimental as you get, I mean, this far into the album, I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like that.
Yeah, that is true.
So no, I agree with you too. I mean, that's something I was gonna point out with what he said is like I like the interlude, but I wouldn't agree with you saying that was her best vocal. I think on the last track and on this track too, it were like some of her high points because that last track is one of the tracks that where she really brings in a lot of, I think, pop. It's really poppy.
Mm-hmm.
And on this track, I think is where she outshines with her vocals a lot more than a lot of the other tracks too. I agree with Ruben on this one.
Hell yeah.
So it's funny that you say like the poppy sound, because this woman sounds like a more, I don't know how to say it. She sounds like a better sounding Olivia Rodrigo.
Don't say that because I was gonna compare my final thoughts to a debut album. Like I feel like Olivia Rodrigo did Sour like perfectly compared to this one. This one's just like too long, man. So I don't want to go into it. It's my final thoughts, but I fucking hate that you brought up Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, no. So the sound like
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
because I mean she even has a song in here that she talks about being a pop artist, and so. I mean, there are some songs in here that you could definitely hear it. Like, she's a voice you can hear on the radio.
100%. She's a voice that'll be successful in a fucking in the pop scene for sure.
Hell yeah. And one of the two songs that I brought up was Saving Grace. And I think Saving Grace is, one of the most poppy sounding songs. And again, I kind of did get Olivia Rodrigo vibes on it. I'm not sure if that's vibes from her specifically or if it's just pop vibes in general.
Yeah.
But
to make a comparison.
It's the whispering.
to make a comparison.
To make a comparison right now.
It's the whispering vocals, bro.
It is,
the
and it's her
whispering
delivery.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. It's just so bouncy and so, and then yet she's still able to add like a cool little like disjointed ambient twist to the song in general. Man, Saving Grace is dope.
I'd give her more James Blake
But-
than Olivia Rodrigo.
Nah,
James Blake, yeah.
I was singing Olivia Rodrigo all the time.
Production wise.
Production wise, yes, I can see that 100% production wise.
But like
vocal
even
wise,
James Blake had like that real like this is gonna sound weird, but like whenever James Blake would sing a song that was like super like sentimental, I feel like I could like feel this full fucking like speaking, like it was like palpable. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of her songs are very palpable. I
can
don't know
see
if
that.
you agree, but
But I disagree with you. This was the most popular song. I think the last track, literally, if there was no scene in the sky, it was the most popular track on the album.
Really?
100%.
Oh, you crazy boy?
100%. Well, other tracks like
Go
this
off.
song literally like had her like hitting like those fucking on time like metronomes like beats per minute, bro, or beats per second. Like it was really poppy, and she was like getting into it. I don't know
Yeah.
what other track was like that.
I
feel
think. I think Saving Grace was.
like, I don't think so.
So what's interesting about if there's a scene in the sky, which is that last track you're talking about, it's weird. It has this like really big build up to what you think is gonna be like this huge crescendo of music, and like you can hear the drums kind of like there's a small little drum fill right before that chorus hits, but then it just like it doesn't sound hollow, but it doesn't sound as like powerful or like the bass isn't as in your face as you would think it'd be. That's why I kind of think it doesn't belong in the pop category because I don't think it delivers on that front. But as far as the structure and shit, yeah, I could see where you're coming from.
You're crazy. I think it's one of the best songs off the album.
Oh no, I think.
Oh
so
no,
too,
yeah,
but...
no, it's a great song. But as far as like pop sounding,
I think it's the best pop song off the album.
Oh, all right, never mind.
I do have to agree with Ruben. I mean
You guys' opinions are invalid. Shut up. I'm just joking. Chill. I'm just joking. Relax.
that fourth track and fifth track. So Saving Grace being the fourth track and Wish You Picked Me being the fifth track. I think those two were like perfect back to back because I
okay.
feel like those two were the most poppiest songs, and that's definitely where like
what
I
was the
heard
second
that.
one you said?
It's the track right after Saving Grace, Wish You Picked Me.
I mean, you are the pop king, technically. So
Whoa.
pop punk, like, come on, you gotta give credit. King.
Our resident
you gotta
expert.
Give, credit
Word.
to King. He is the pop punk king in our group.
Facts.
So
Thank you, baby. No, those definitely those songs like that's like just listening to them. That's when I was like, "Yo, this sounds like Olivia Rodrigo." So I went
Definitely Wish You Picked Me. definitely, because you get like that like static like fuzz guitar bass whatever like zzz, and then it like gets into it and it's like, oh okay, and then the lyrics and stuff are like super, you know, quote unquote relatable, and like
Yeah.
I could see how that could be more appealing to like a wider audience. So I could totally see why you.
Oh
why
yeah,
you
and the
say
way
that.
she paired them back to back was like, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
she
and
did
then-
that on purpose.
I'm telling you, the fucking track placement, bro.
Yeah, but
one
the-
of the best on out of anything we reviewed. Like,
Yeah, but the length of it, one of the worst that we reviewed.
I'm gonna
Nice.
eat your ass if you say anything
Sick.
about that again.
So I do have a counter to that. This
Well,
is
counter
to what you said as far as track placement,
Okay.
because
Okay.
this is probably my only negative, which is really not even a negative per se, because, you know, it's not inherently bad. It's not completely bad. But I do think this album does hit a little bit of like a slog.
A lull.
A lull, yes. I think it lulls for track 12 and 13 for Insufficient Funds, and then going into Sadness Residue. Like, I just wasn't feeling those two songs back to back. I think those songs could have benefited with some type of interlude in between, or maybe just getting rid of one of them. But I felt like it slowed down just, and again, it's only two songs, and
One of them's
they're
an interlude.
actually, well, kind of, I guess.
Well, it's 50 seconds.
Is it? Which
Yes,
one?
Insufficient funds.
That's only 50 seconds?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay, well, I guess it's not a good interlude then, because well, I should I guess I shouldn't say it's not a good interlude, but I just think those two songs didn't work, you know, in harmony. So the good thing about the reason why I think those two interludes that we talked about previously, you know, 9/19 and 11/19, is because they did something so different leading into the songs that it's sandwiched in between. You know, it changed up the flow and it gave you like we were saying, they're so short. They left you wanting more, you know, and they gave you these different kind of elements. Like that one didn't lead at all into
I could see that. It's like a warning if you think about it. It's like a warning of what you're about to get led into. But on this interlude, it kind of just cold turkey you into a different song or into a different element.
Right. See, I guess that kind of, well, I mean, it proves my own point. The way I think about it is, I didn't even know
'cause
the
I could
first
see
song
it.
was an interlude.
'Cause I don't even-
These two sound pretty much the same, and I'm just like, you know, it hit a little bit of a snag right there.
How dare you? Sadness Residue is one of the best songs on this album.
Shit.
And I will fight you with that song playing in the background. So, I mean, 11 and 12. So, track 11 being 11/19 and track 12 being the Insufficient Funds. They already, you know, they're already pretty much, they go hand in hand with each other. So, they could have just been one song. Boom, done.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that, and then just let Sadness Residue just be its own thing. Track 11 would have been the 11/19 and Insufficient Funds. They would have played perfectly together and just, it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then she wouldn't have had her 19 masters.
Yeah, she wouldn't have.
So we probably would have gotten another.
I think I would have been happy with an 18 masters, but
It's fucking 11 masters, dog.
damn,
I felt like a fucking Saya Gray fucking shill, bro.
because you are.
I'm about to fucking justify this shit. So Insufficient Funds, like that piano off the top was so fucking out of this world. Like it doesn't sound like any other type of piano that is on the album.
Because it's not a piano. It's an organ.
Oh,
Keys. The keys.
checkmate.
The keys.
You Saya Gray simp. You didn't know that? Oh my god.
Brr, brr.
You ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean, bro?
No, what are the pirates of the
What?
Caribbean?
What?
When the Flying Dutchman's playing the organ. That's what really...
Oh, and he playing that shit with his beard, his
Oh, yeah,
tentacle beard
exactly.
and
So
shit.
that's what really got me into, like, the noise of the organ was like, yo, what the fuck is this evil ass shit? So I know an organ when I hear one. It's an organ.
Okay, my bad. Organ, whatever. Well, not even whatever. You're completely right. And that's
No,
my
you
bad.
might be right. Maybe piano on organ keys.
No, I-
Oh
my
forget it. We just roasted this man for just thinking it wasn't.
No, it's definitely an organ. He's definitely right. It's definitely an organ. But I don't know. I don't think it overstays its welcome, and I think it introduces enough unique sounds that when it moves on to the next track, I think more of what Keenan said. I think it's more 1119 and insufficient funds more than insufficient funds and sadness residue. I think you're pairing the wrong song. I mean, what do I know? I don't know how she meant it, to be conceived. But in my opinion, I think those two songs fit better than those two songs. So then when you have the breakdown of it all, like I don't think they were meant to be matched together, and I don't think they were meant to like flow off of one another. I think it was just one track and then another track.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That they don't flow like period or whatever, and then that it like ruins like the flow of the album.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm not saying that they were meant to be paired in any certain way. I'm just saying those two back to back wasn't as far as a track placement.
They were off-putting.
Yeah, not. I guess you could use off-putting, but it's more so just like I said. It just hits kind of a little bit of a snag in the flow of the album.
It's disjointed. You would say?
No, because the whole album is disjointed and it's done it great. So I don't think disjointedness is an issue at all. I think the issue is just these two songs put back to back, whether they were meant to be back to back or not, or if there was a specific purpose, that remains to be seen or whatever. Just having them back to back just didn't, it like I said, it just came down to a lull. It was nothing was really happening for me between those two.
So
The fact that we have to nitpick at this,
bro, yeah, my point exactly, bro.
Dude, this literally we're arguing over just because it didn't flow into the next track, even though we stated in the beginning that that's what we appreciated about this album.
Yeah,
and then we love the tracks even though they don't flow with each other.
Yeah, the track is still really fucking good.
I hope that shows that how much we truly really enjoyed this album.
Yeah.
But that all being said, can I hit you with my challenge?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, because it's been on my mind. Let me guess.
Hit me. What do you got?
Cervical Cedric. It's either Cervical Cedric or Little Palm.
Final answer?
Yes.
Wrong.
What?
So, bro, in Empathy for Bethany,
He got you.
bro,
I thought I was onto something. Fuck.
in Empathy for Bethany, that whole jazz section right there, is the best piece of music on this album. So that was my challenge to you, because you picked the interlude, and although it was beautiful, just like every other fucking song on this album, I just think that entire jazz section in Empathy for Bethany was the best. That was the best instruments we got on this album.
It was definitely a memorable part off the album for sure.
It really was. It was a nice change of pace, and it's like the fifth track.
It was unexpected for me, actually.
It was super unexpected.
Hell yeah, it was.
Extremely unexpected for me.
Because we've been getting all this random stuff, and at this point, because this is track 6, and so up until then, all we've been getting is a few horns and mostly just the guitar.
Right.
You get a little bit of extra stuff, but nothing that catches your attention like this.
Nothing like this. I mean, on this we got full straight up horns. We got sax. We got everything, and it took me by surprise. And this was the song that I didn't let finish because I just kept restarting.
I would even say it's a little bit of a change of pace, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely the first time that the album introduces such heavy jazz vibes.
Mm-hmm. And only one of two.
Yeah, one of
two examples that it really does.
Because even on the second example,
but in a more forward-facing way,
right?
Like of course, okay, yes, there's not a lot of
you could tell
actual sax on there.
You could tell it was straight to your face, you're intended to hear it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But there's even the essence of jazz was all over this, even if there wasn't jazz instruments.
Okay.
But this is the first instance of jazz mixed with her interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna give you my unpopular opinion.
Oh, here we go.
If you hate this song, I'm walking out right now.
Yeah, it's my least favorite song. And that section saved the song for me.
That's crazy.
I don't. The hook does nothing for me.
Crazy.
Honestly, but I can't get with that. The verses are okay. The structure is cool.
I have a lot of not favorite songs on here, so.
No, I'm with you, brother.
Okay, so do you agree with me on this one?
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite songs.
My G. Hell yeah.
Because I didn't write notes on my least favorite songs.
All of it. Yeah, I mean,
Damn.
if it wasn't for that jazz, or if it wasn't for that big saxophone section, I probably wouldn't like the song that much.
Damn.
It makes it it's hard because I can't really say that it's a bad song because I can listen to it. So I guess least favorite in the scope of how good this album is doesn't mean a whole lot, you know? Yeah, sorry, Keenan.
How dare you?
Sorry, guys.
How dare you?
What do you mean? I agree with you.
No, I know. Okay, so sorry, you two.
Don't
Isaac and
bundle me
Keenan.
up with these Neanderthals, man.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
together.
And earlier you're talking about heartfelt. This song is so heartfelt.
Ah.
Wait. Yeah, just wait until you hear my explanation about the album, okay?
Ooh.
Dog shit. All of it's trash. Put on Tsunami, bitch.
Might as well wrap up the podcast, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Bro.
I'm
Yeah.
just joking.
Empathy for Bethany. Love that song. You already know. But these lyrics, though, the more so just the topic of the album in general. Fucking gut wrenching heartbreak. The feeling that Saya gets when it comes to her, I guess, abandonment issues, or the way she feels because she's always moving somewhere, and she can never stay rooted in another place because she's always on the foot. The depression that comes with life, the depression that comes with fame, you know what I mean? I really, really, really like this album because of that, because everything that she talked about felt so genuine, so raw, and so real. Like, even though the way that she said it, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, went over my head. It may have been a little too poetic, and
Well, it was very
that's
cryptic.
very, very cryptic. But a lot of it was just straightforward to the gut, like just heartbreaking, fucking heartbreaking. And the way that she navigates those emotions through the album is so beautiful because of the way she ends the album. If there's no seat in the sky. I love those lyrics. That's the ending of the album, right? And you're like, well, why would she put a fucking single as the end of her album? Well, when you look at the lyrics, it makes so much sense. In that song, she's saying, fuck it. That's it. That's it. This is it. This is all we're getting. No more chances. That's it. And now she could be saying that, metaphorically for, a relationship. She could be saying that for herself. That's it. I'm going to, stay somewhere, it can mean a myriad of things, but the fact that all of the album is talking about one thing, and the last track on it is saying, that's it, we're done. I fucking love that. I thought that was so poetic. I thought that was a perfect way to close the album lyrically. Going back to that raw sound. So the strings, like I was saying at the beginning of the album, the strings had such a raw emotional sounds on some of these tracks. And I think she brought back that rawness for the final track that I fucking loved. The chorus is so good. I can feel how fucking fed up she is and how it's essentially a mirroring effect, like this is the last time, and how that's the final straw in this relationship that she's been discussing on the entire album, and it's essentially the ending of a heartbreak. For the greater context, this album is called 19 Masters. She chose 19 for a reason. 9 being the beginning of a process, 9 being the end of a process. 9 is the last single number digit, you know what I mean? It's the end of a cycle, it's the end of an era. And I think that this song is a perfect way to end that era.
I have a hot take. I feel like these lyrics are kind of whack.
Okay.
Why?
Dude.
I'm like out of breath from like saying all that shit, and you're just like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, whatever,
It's
dude.
just fucking mid, bro. Fucking
That's just
figure it
my
out.
opinion, man. No, they're not. No, okay, yes, they're mid. I feel like
Yes, they are. Okay, well, fuck.
I feel like I disagree with Ruben. Like, they're not cryptic at all. They're just like whack. Like, I feel like we reviewed enough albums where like we've had like Olivia Rodrigo, James Blake, Ants from Up There, other artists that have been able to really touch someone's emotion when it comes to fucking a heartbreak, and actually make them feel really good emotions. I get not to go too much into detail, but like you guys know my situation, and I didn't feel like any type of sadness listening to these lyrics at all. But when I was listening to James Blake,
That was
That's
different.
different though. That's different.
that's not different. We're talking about lyrics, like the shit he was saying.
That's
Like, yo,
different.
dude, like, yo, yo, dog, like, yo, I'm about to do some shit I'm about to regret right now. Like, yo, like his shit like was like when I was listening to his lyrics, dude, like, they were grabbing me. And this one, yeah, they're
not
right.
this
They're
one.
like nothing too good.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? And that's not. I know you just went on a tangent, and I respect that, and I respect your opinion and stuff like that. But the lyrics on every song pretty much fell short for me.
Damn.
Yeah. And,
Oh, okay.
and I get that because at the end of the day, she's putting out this for her. You know, she's getting this off of her chest. You know, this is me. I'm the one touring. I'm the one traveling. I'm the one finding love in all these different places.
Mad respect. Yeah,
I'm the
mad
one that
respect.
can't get hooked, and I get that. That's not relatable at all. But at the same time, like what she's going through, like I still feel for her, and especially like with the way she delivers it, with this soft tone, with these soft instruments, and you know all the beautiful harmonies and everything. That's why, you know, it's just sad, and I feel for her. But again, I still don't relate to her. But it's sad. It's still sad because I feel for her.
I mean, I agree with you. I think lyrically, it's a very good way to wrap up the album. Now, I don't agree that you should release the last track as a single, because even if it does do its job at wrapping up the album nicely, I feel like that's the whole point of an album, is to lead you up to this big grand finale, you know? So when you release the last track as a single, you know, while it's a single, you may not realize what the concept of the album as a whole is going to be. But when the album comes out and then you realize that you've ran this single to the ground already and you understand what it is, it just loses that like excitement. You know what I mean? It's like
The umph.
Yeah. I think if we were to be, you know, if we were to be led through this whole album and not know what the last track was going to give us, it probably would have ended on a much higher note for me. Again, not to say it's a bad track, but the fact that it was released as a single and we had already listened to it for the past couple months, you know, it just lost that excitement.
So to say something, I didn't listen to any of the singles. So this track was the big.
So it
grand
still
finale.
didn't.
And I know it was a good. I thought this was a perfect last track.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought this was a perfect last track. I thought this
Oh,
was
okay.
an awesome last track. Yeah.
There you go. So
But I
maybe
didn't
it's just
listen
a
to
me
the
thing.
single. Yeah, if you listen to the single, and I could see your perspective, but
Yeah.
I didn't listen to any of the singles here. So this was the big grand finale, and I thought it was a fucking amazing last track. I think it couldn't have ended in a better way, honestly.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm literally in the same exact boat. Like I didn't even know this was one of the singles. Like I just dove into the album, and so like Marco said, like, and even what Isaac said, like it was like a perfect wrap to everything that she talked about.
Yeah.
Not knowing it being a single.
I only know because this fool fucking recommended it on one of the podcasts. So I went and listened to it.
And we're shit
Shout
friends.
So,
We're shit friends.
jeez.
Ooh,
You
that's
guys didn't listen to it? What the
It's
fuck?
actually
Damn,
sad because I added it on the spot when he told me to.
Oh.
I even showed him. We even dapped each other. I'm sorry.
So-
It'd be like that sometimes.
So I do have two tracks that I do want to bring up as far as lyrical themes go. I already brought up one, which was the C-list Fruits of My Labor. I brought it up. I said it's like the most lyrical, impactful one. I'll explain why. But the other one is Pap Test. Starting with C-list Fruits of My Labor. Like, this song is just such a cool, like, I love the way she describes this, you know, failing relationship, but then also like trying to build from it and also like
Overcome it.
Not only, you know, overcome it, you know, especially within yourself, you know, recognizing that you yourself have flaws, and, you know, coming to the realization that yesterday I wasn't good, tomorrow I'll be better, today is about to finish, tomorrow I'll come correct. I really like that. And then here in the, I guess what is essentially the verse, I don't know what this would really be considered, but she has this really cool like metaphor of like the seasons changing and how that like relates to her relationship. These new these new seasons bring in these new feelings and these new energies. So I just thought that was really cool.
That's
I-
pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope, man. I love this track. Sound wise, lyrical wise, I love it. Now I think the one that's really the most in your face, you know, the one that is very, very, you know, just lays it all out on the line is again Pap Test. I mean, she has right here in the pre-chorus, and I'm glad such a beautiful song was made for my pain. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how much more,
That's meta.
evident could it be?
That's
Yeah, it's
meta.
meta. Yeah, she's breaking the fourth wall with this shit. And Pap Test is a really gorgeous song too.
And this is the song that put me on her.
Yeah, so this is the Colors one, right?
This is the Colors one.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, I think I prefer the studio version over the Colors, which is kind of rare because I usually do prefer Colors performances over studio. But no, I think this one in the studio just sounded so much better. But yeah, again, song about heartbreak, but using the song as like a cathartic type of release, of the pain that she went through.
I completely agree. I literally have in my notes a song expressing yourself and getting your feelings and past heartaches out through music in a healing way. And that's literally what you just said, you know what I mean? And that's how she comes across, and the fact that we get that so simply and so perfectly and concisely just shows her ability to convey her emotions in a very digestible way.
Oh yeah, and then was this song a reference to one of the earlier songs? Because in like one of the earlier songs when she's talking about I need to buy double of everything, I can't think of the track title off the top of my head.
Oh, that one's Sympathy for Bethany.
Was that one?
Yeah.
So it reminded me of it because right here it's like in the chorus, like you said, what we have won't be here for long. Before we know it, what we know will be long gone. Because it's like she's afraid to make that commitment. Because that's why, like, especially like in the Bethany, I'm gonna buy 2 of everything because you could just have it because I'm gonna leave. So therefore, I could just have it over here as my own. And so it was pretty cool to like kind of like see that it's probably not even related in any way, but it was I made that relation. If
Right.
it is, if it's there, cool. If not, the song was still beautiful either way.
Well, I don't think it's a stretch. I mean, I think the whole album definitely has
Well,
that
yeah.
like one overarching thing.
Yeah.
So, even though they're on 2 separate ends of the track list, I
yeah.
could definitely see. So, if you guys don't mind, I want to go into 2 tracks that I actually think fit, opposed to what I was saying earlier, as far as Insufficient Funds and Sadness Residue, how I wasn't crazy about those 2 being back to back. I want to talk about 2 songs that I think were perfect back to back, sound wise, but since we're on the theme of lyric wise, most definitely. The second track, Found a Floorboard Under the Soil, and then the third track, Cervical Cedric.
100%.
Yeah.
They literally could be one long song.
They really could be. And it's like, Found a Floorboard Under the Soil is actually, this is a really good, it's essentially the first track of the whole album. Because the first track, like we said, is literally just a 3-second interlude of her mom talking.
It's her mom in Japanese saying, "Welcome to my world."
Yeah. Which, I mean, really is a great intro to the album. So Found a Floorboard Under the Soil, like, I think sound-wise, is actually like a pretty good... It sets the tone very well for the album because it kind of, other than maybe the saxophone, it incorporates pretty much everything you're gonna get.
Completely agree.
But since we're on the topic of lyrics, I love that it ends with the lyrics, "You said you could handle me," and then going into the third track, Cervical Cedric, which is essentially like another interlude. But her vocals, this is another one where her vocals have this crazy, like, layered but weird distorted vocal effect added. And she's not wailing it in the sense that, she's blowing out her vocal cords or she's, projecting her voice. But you can hear the pain and the hurt in her voice as she's singing the lyrics. "I know you said you could handle my love," and then repeats my love, my love. That's all it is. Oof. But, man, I think those 2 together was executed perfectly.
No, I fucking completely agree. I completely agree. Because I know you said lyrically, but even sonically, like, the first 30 seconds in, and I'm already hooked with the beautiful start of the acoustic strings that melt into, like, that twinkling sort of, like, strings. Mm-hmm. The reverb and the slight, like, electric rumbling of a guitar. Like, it's so fucking perfect. You know what I mean? And it, like you said earlier as well, like, it really is setting the palette off for such a strong start, but without making it so oblivious to what you are going to enjoy the entire way. Like in my opinion, it does it in such a way that is wholly its own. You know what I mean? And the different vocals throughout the entire song could be like an interpretation of like the voices that you hear in your head. You know what I mean? Like, cause how it's like, she's singing one thing and then like in parentheses, when when you look at the lyrics, it's like saying something else. You know?
Right.
And that could be like a metaphor for like your own like inner monologue. You know what I mean? And like you said, you know, I need to leave him before he leaves me. You said you can handle me, you know, whatever. And then the next song, it strips all that shit back. It strips the strings all the way back.
And it's just that acoustic guitar.
And it's just that hazy, just rawness of the guitar. And it just really shows their emotion. And the lyrical themes fit like tremendously as well. You know what I mean? Like that feeling betrayed and lied to about something so powerful as the love you feel for somebody. But also it's in its purest form, yet the other person not being able to handle it or lying that they can, and then being, you know, kind of like a knife in the back. You know what I mean? Saying, yeah, I can handle your love, lying about it, and then when that person pours it out, they feel tricked or, you know, bewitched.
Definitely. And then like I said, the vocal performance on that third track definitely solidifies that because it just sounds so desperate, you know? It sounds, like you said, it sounds very betrayed.
Yeah, so I feel like those two are perfect, like back to back, and you definitely, because it is opening of the album. That's when you definitely really get to hear her sound, especially with the whole guitar, especially the guitar, and you get a lot of that glitch, and it really just sets you up for basically the entire album, because like how we've been talking about, you get that theme, and you know, right there on that second track, that's when it's like, I'm looking for this person, I don't want him to leave me. And then in the third one and so on, it's just like, he's gone. That being said, we haven't talked about this one yet, but what do you guys think of, I guess this one would be more sound instead of lyrical, Little Palm and Seedless Fruits? Because I know we talked about Seedless Fruits, but like Little Palm with that acoustic perfectly segueing into Seedless Fruits with that soft guitar sound.
Yeah, I fuck with that twang. I fuck with the twang.
Yeah, this is the twang that I was talking about in the beginning. This is really a perfect precursor to the last track. You know, this was basically, to me at least, this was the track that really set up the whole, like, all right, it's over. You know, we're done. Because of the lyrics, like, don't call, don't come around, you know.
Which is the whole song.
Which is the whole song. But, oh, my God. This is another instance of two tracks playing perfectly back to back. Like you said, Little Palm and Seedless Fruits, My Labor. This song, this was how you were with Sympathy for Bethany. You couldn't get past it. That's how Little Palm was for me. I could not stop replaying this song.
And I just love that the entire song is just like, fuck you. You're not going to disturb my peace. Like, I'm going to own my shit, and you're not going to ruin that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I love that. I love how she words it in such a matter-of-fact way.
Yeah.
But isn't, like, quote-unquote, a bitch or whatever. Like, she's just, no, fuck you.
Yeah, it's not bitter.
Yeah, it's bitter. There you go. It's not bitter. It's just, fuck you.
It's like, matter-of-fact. That's
matter
it.
Of fact.
It is. Don't call me. That's it.
No.
But the way she delivered it, like I said in the beginning, like a lot of these songs, she's in and out. This song, she was in and out. She did what she had to do. It was beautiful. The instruments behind her, the production of this song was perfect. Boom, done. 2 minutes and 26 seconds, out of there.
Green Apple was a really good song for me. I love Green Apple. I love the sound of it. It has this very, like, this one sounds very like broken, and this one sounds very like what would be another word for broken? Like defeated. This song sounds very defeated, but the lyrics kind of threw me off for a loop. So I want to ask you guys. She ends her verse by saying, "I'm holding cavities in between my cheeks," which is fire. But then she has the final line, "While you try to spit the green from your teeth onto me." I took the green as envy or like jealousy.
Right.
But then I was also reading it could have been money. Like, what do you guys?
Well, money falls into with envy and,
And greed.
And greed, yeah.
So it could just be like hand in hand, essentially.
I mean, technically it is hand in hand.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So I guess there isn't a distinction. It's just both.
It is.
Yeah.
So the green apple is just a herring, a red herring. It's like not as sweet. Like it's used as a metaphor, as like something that's like. See, this is my thought process. Every time I listen to this shit, I was like, wait, okay, the green apple means okay, it's sweet. They have a lot of sugar. Cavities. Okay, she's hiding
I
cavities.
thought green apples
Okay.
were tart.
Well, yeah, but they have a lot of sugar in them.
I like grandma's apples.
Those are like the
Yeah, or the golden.
the reddish golden ones, right?
No, these are the green ones.
No, the Granny Smiths are the green.
Oh, Granny Smith.
Granny Smiths, yeah.
You're right.
Shout out to the Granny Smiths though. Yeah, like how did you guys take that? Because I was, I mean, I guess you know.
I took it as money.
So you thought it was a
Oh,
greed
because they're
thing?
fucking partists. Or artists, not partists. Artists.
Yeah.
I don't know, because she said, I hold the cavities between my teeth or whatever. And then she says, while you spit the green. While
You spit the
try to
green
spit
onto
the
me.
green from your teeth onto me. So I took it as like, yeah, I got my own fucked up issues. You know, I've indulged in my own sweetness, and I've, you know, felt the pain that of my actions. But now you're trying to put. So what is green in your teeth, right? Green in your teeth could be, you know, just something stuck in your teeth, all the way to, you know, your teeth rotting themselves. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to work on my own shit, and you're trying to put your shit onto me, which would flow more into the relationship vibes of the other lyrics, which would be, you know, her battle, or not battle, but her just relationship with this other person, you know? Like I essentially took it as
Like
this person's
projection?
trying to throw their insecurities onto me when I'm already dealing with my own shit. The fuck out of here.
Okay, I think I took the green a little bit too literal then. Because
Well, I mean,
Because,
because like you said, like green could, you know,
because it could symbolize insecurity and it could symbolize that envy. So it's like I recognize that I myself am envious and very jealous, so I'm working on it. But
and they're trying to put that on you. You know what I mean? You're,
right,
Yeah.
yeah, you're projecting your insecurities onto me.
Yeah.
Essentially, we figured it out. Sick.
Bang.
Never mind. Let's move on. I'm just kidding.
Pop, pop, pop.
Go ahead.
No, this song went right over my head. I had no idea what was going on here, and so when I looked it up, I read the money aspect of it, and I mean, I guess I could see that, but literally, like, with the way Isaac just put it, like, I could also see that as well. But going into it on my own, like, I had no idea what was going on here.
Yeah.
I was too busy listening to that glitch. Bro, that glitch at the end of this song was hard.
Yeah,
But-
the sound of this was nice.
Yeah, no, but yeah, to be honest, no, this one went right over my head.
Yeah. Okay, so the other one I wanted to bring up.
Ooh,
That-
I got this.
Oh shit. Okay, me and Keenan been game planning about this. We've been talking about this. 2019 was an empty carb.
Help me, Isaac,
Yo.
please.
Oh, I thought you had
Yo.
it. Fuck.
Oh no, like I knew where you were going with this.
Oh.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
This song just went right over my head.
Really?
Bro, what's going on in here? Hitting me with fines and legal fees.
And virginities. Where were you when I needed you the most? Don't get it twisted. Yeah, you jumped the gun again. All you do is boomerang. But then, so that obviously has relationship, ties. But I don't understand the hurt for my family part. I don't understand, I don't know.
A lot of shit in here. Just another bag of penny worth your virginity. I'm not a liar. Hit me later with your legal fees.
Yeah, I don't understand how this ties into it. Isaac, explain this.
Well, I don't have the answers, but I have my own opinions, and
Well,
You
they're
guys
very
can-
valid, so I want to hear what you have to say.
okay.
You just
So-
convinced me on Green Apple, so.
Right.
Man, that song's about Granny Smith apples, dog. Pretty much, the way I took it is pretty much calling out your ex on their bullshit, saying, well, what are you even doing here? I'm not going to fight for you. I'm not going to fight you. The only energy that I'm going to put in that sort of thing is for my family. The only fighting I'm going to do is for my family. So you ain't even going to get that energy. I'm not going to fight for you. I'm not going to fight with you. You know what I mean? Only trying to get back with you when it's convenient for them. But when you need them the most, they vanished. That's how I took it. You know what I mean? The whole legal fees and stuff like that, that's a little bit harder. You know, that could be a whole thing of her relationship with a record label or something. her not releasing enough music or something,
Mm-hmm.
and they could be like, well, you gotta be more productive and blah blah blah, and like, no, I'm not gonna fight. I'm gonna do my own thing. But I took it as more of a relationship of like, I'm not gonna give you my energy, and I'm not gonna fight you. Like, the only thing I fight for is my bed and my mama. I'm sorry.
When you said when they need you the most, oh,
Shout outs to Avatar: The Last
Yeah.
Airbender. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yes, sir.
that's why I laughed.
That's exactly what I meant too,
Wow.
but I didn't want to.
I just said it.
Well, I think that about does it. Let's wrap this baby up. I think we've talked enough, been long-winded enough, and hopefully what we said is kind of piqued your interest into this album, because I truly do believe that this is an album worth checking out. But let's just give our final thoughts, top 3 tracks, and final review. I'll just go first real quick. And again, I'm just going to read what I wrote. It'll just be easier than, saying anything, because
Do it up, baby.
it's this album. Okay. What more can I say about this album that hasn't already been gushed about? A truly remarkable piece of work that I really, really, really hope gets the recognition it deserves. Psy gives us a concoction of different sounds and emotions while still relating all of them together in a masterful way. Harmonious and relating, and yet also visceral and somber. A hazy feeling throughout that can only be likened to a fairy tale or a dream. Sweeping me off my feet and transporting me to a place that I didn't know I needed. 19 Masters, a debut album that will stay with me forever. Thank you, Saya. I love this album so fucking much. This album's great. Fucking love this shit. And I hope everybody listens to it. My top 3 tracks are Saving Grace, If There's No Sea in the Sky, and I kind of want to just wrap all of the interludes all in one and have that be my, third track, quote unquote. But if you don't want to do that, then 9 out of 19, that would be my final track. And my final score would be 9 out of 10.
All right, so after the first listen, I didn't really vibe with this. I mean, I guess not even after. During the first listen, I was like, what's going on here? I mean, it's just because I just threw it on. I stayed busy, and it's just kind of weird. I was like, this is an Isaac album. This is not one Isaac would pick. But after the second full listen, I did not expect to love it as much as I did. Especially after that second listen. This album is so good. From the soft tone of her voice to the warm sounds of the guitar, this album delivered on almost every aspect for me. The only thing that I didn't like were those songs that were stretched out. This album is very long. Again, with the whole track, the track listing, I get. The 19 tracks, I get. She had a plan. She delivered on that. But the length of this album, she stretched out a song to 7 minutes. That's crazy. Easily could have just been a 3.5, 4-minute song. Other than that, there was also some stuff that were very short that probably shouldn't even have been in the album. But I get it. She had a goal. She hit it. My top tracks were SHT, Silent Hot Tears, Sen Hot Tempura, Woo, Wish You Picked Me, and Little Palm.
Oh.
Honorable mentions, having to be Empathy for Bethany because of that jazz. That jazz is just it's too nice. And Sadness Residue. Final score, 9 out of 10.
So my review for this album is that I respect the creative direction of this whole album, especially because it's her debut album. Respect the fact that she gave us a 19-track debut album. Holy shit, the balls on her. For real.
To say the
God
least.
damn, yeah. I think it's a great direction. Not really my cup of tea at all, based off the foundation of the whole album, the sound engineering and the production of it. Not my cup of tea at all. But overall, a really solid piece of work, honestly. Lyric-wise, I think it felt short for me. The lyrics just didn't stick with me. I think majority of the lyrics, I would say 80% of them were kind of flat to me, personally. But her vocals, say less. They're fucking amazing. I can't wait to see where she goes. but it's just not something that I'm gonna be able to put on repeat for a long time. So, my top 3 tracks off the album are If There's No Skin in the Sky is one. Second one is Leeches On My Thesis. And third one is SHT because of Haji, bro. My boy Haji. Yeah, but I'll give this album an 8 out of 10.
Oh,
Oh,
I was
shit.
expecting it that high.
8 out of 10, yeah.
Oh shit. So whenever I listen to this album, I kind of picture myself in like a very, very cozy white marbled room that's like completely empty and like dimly lit. It's very cozy in a very weird, surreal, empty, desolate kind of way. If that even makes sense. It like again ties back with my whole thinking of it sounding like being half awake and half asleep. Again, like I said earlier, I loved the foundation it was built upon. I loved that, each track was able to, bring something new to the table. Each track essentially had its own personality. Some of the lyrics were definitely a little bit too cryptic for me. Not that that's a bad thing. It was just a little bit hard to kind of understand what direction she was going in. But, looking at it in the scope of the project, I think it is, fair to say that everything does tie into like issues with the relationships. But that does lead me to say that, the songs that did grab me lyrically were amazing. I think she's proven herself to be a very good lyricist, a very good songwriter. Shit, dude. Like Marco said, 19-track album off the rip. Fucking balls to do that. But to execute it very well is very, very impressive. I don't know. This album just really resonated with me. It's kind of hard to put into words, but it's definitely something that caught me by surprise in probably the best way possible. Top 3 tracks. Fuck, dude, it's hard. Even just looking at it now, it's hard. But I have to give honorable mentions to 9/19. I absolutely love that interlude. And then I'll also have to give a shout out to SHT again, because that Haji fucking feature was just
Haji
insane.
should be top 3, dude. Just because of Haji. Just because of Haji.
Dude, honestly, might be one of his best verses ever. It's man. It like not only the way he delivered it and his lyrics, but within the context of the work that he put it into, if that makes sense. Like, God, he just executed it so perfectly. So yeah, I would say those are my honorable mentions, but the whole damn album is an honorable mention. So top 3 tracks in order are going to be number 3, Cervical Cedric, number 2, Seedless Fruits of My Labor, and number 1, Little Palm. And overall rating is going to be a 9 out of 10.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here, folks. Listen to that shit. You got 4 homies saying that shit is fucking gas. Well, if you want to anyway. With that being said, this has been the Underground Treehouse Podcast. Thank you for listening as always. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any ideas that we should do in the future or anything that we can improve on, let us know. We fuck with you. And yeah, be good people.
I think you took my starting job.
Word.
I've been moved to the bench.
Yeah.
Nah, me and you will work like you're the Jordan, I'm the Pippen.
No, you're the Jordan.
You're the Karl Malone, I'm the John Stockton.
I'm the John Jones. You're the Chuck Liddell.
Cut this.
Yeah, that's gross.
You're the
End this
we're still
podcast
recording?
now.
you're the John Jones. He's the Kimball Slice.
No. I'm Kimbo. He's
Oh,
John Jones.
I had my flash in the pan and that was it.
Yeah. No, I'll be Kimbo. Okay. Everybody, have a good night. What would Kimbo Slice do? Think about it. With that being said, good night.
Later.
Bye.
Yeah.
That was terrible. I want to